Hello, welcome back to the Spirit of Watercolor. Linda's back. Good to see you again. We need another inspirational video. I like to do these every now and then just to keep us from feeling blocked so that we can keep our creativity flowing. And how do you stay in that mode? And we can't always stay in that mode. There are times where, like, I've just taken a bit of a rest. I've been making lots of videos and paintings, and I kind of needed time just to rebalance. And that's important too. But while you're doing that, it's good to explore other creative people and other creative ways to kind of get inspired. So this video is about that, about getting inspiration from others, from nature, from other artists, and there's many different ways. So let's kind of talk about this a little bit, and hopefully this will help you in your spiritual journey with watercolors with me. So I'm really glad you're here again today. So I picked up some different things to kind of remind me of how I stay creative, and I do start every day with journaling. I like to write, like I mentioned in another inspirational video about, just writing every day to get all the gunk out of your brain so that you can, get into focus, and clear your mind so that you can and usually by the end of writing 3 college ruled sheets of paper, just writing whatever's coming in my mind and getting into that flow. By the end of it, I'm usually writing what I want to do with my art for the day. And this keeps me so that I at least do some every day, whether it's doing a sketch or working on a painting or just deciding what a painting might need that I'm not sure, and writing about it, and you can do it this way or that way, and then something kind of comes to mind and you're like, oh, that's how to do it. Okay. The ways that I've kept myself going through the years, one is, this is a very old magazine. Now it's called, I think, Watercolor Artist, but it used to be called Watercolor Magic, and I still keep many of these copies. I have gotten rid of some, but because it was getting to be too many in my basement. But Watercolor Artist is a very nice, creative way to see what other artists are doing, and they have tips and tricks, and just the colors and the styles and the subjects can inspire you, okay? And that's been very helpful to me over the years. And sometimes just sitting down and reading it when I'm in a mode of just resting, and seeing how other artists have found what they have to say, or what their focus, or what their main style or whatnot is, and how they got there. It's just very, very helpful. And sometimes trying the things that they've, suggest that you try. How to mix colors, how they do it, how to get more abstract or loose or more precise. I mean, there's just so much in those wonderful magazines, and I'll keep subscribing, maybe forever. And another way, I have paintings here, many, of dancers, and I may have showed one in one of the videos that I'm working on right now. And mine are very splashy and abstract, very different than what other people I know do. And I, from time to time, I'll go to the library, which is a great resource for all kinds of watercolor books, by the way. And so you don't have to buy everything. Once in a while, I like to buy a book. I have a Misty Copeland book, Ballerina Body, because there's so many wonderful photographs in here that for me, and I used to do ballet, I started in my mid-30s, which shows you that you can start some of this creative ways at any age if you so decide to. I don't know if you can see that, but at least you can see the movement, the motion. That's what excites me in my dancer paintings. So I look for photographs from books of all kinds, and from other artists too, just to see how they do. I mean, think about artists of the past too, right? Like Degas, he did a lot of ballerinas. I have some of his paintings, or prints of his paintings, in my bedroom. Up on the wall, there's about 9 of them, and they're all framed differently, but they all kind of work together. And whenever I see them, I think, boy, people have loved dance and dancing as a creative way for years. And I did do ballet for about 12 years, and I started really late, but it kept going, and it was really wonderful. And I still like to dance around my kitchen, or when I'm doing a workout, there's ballet workouts. So that keeps me going. So yeah, so find something you love to do. If you love food or flowers, still lives, find other books, or set up your own still life in your house, or whatever inspires you. Okay, I love flowers, so I paint in my own style, as you know. It's very loose and abstract florals. And I just picked up a flower book because even though I've been doing flowers and roses for years, I like to see how other people approach them and what colors they use. And I found a nice book, and I didn't know where it was this morning. I wanted to show, but she gets a little more, she goes from loose watercolors and very transparent to much more detailed in her book. And I really am just enjoying the book. And some of that will probably just come into play in my work just from seeing it and it being exposed to how she approaches it. Also, she has little tips and tricks, and there's many flower books on watercolors. Again, you can go to the library. Okay, you don't have to buy them. Once in a while, I like to buy one for my little bookshelf down here, so I have my little resources of my favorite. And there's not that many, because again, the library has so much that you can go in and you can take books out here in Ann Arbor for like 4 weeks, if that's still true. And you can just enjoy the books and try some of the things the way that the artists that illustrate the books do. And or it can be about landscape, okay, or it can be about whatever subject you like. I have a book that I really want to show you. It's called Watercolor Bold and Free. There may be a few copies left on Amazon. I don't know if it's still in print. And there's all kinds of ways of folding up your paper and pouring the paint, or just all kinds of different ways of approaching watercolor. And it's exciting, and it pushes you out of your comfort zone, which again allows us to grow and maybe just explore colors that way, or explore, like I say, just new approaches. What if you put a bunch of masking tape on there and then just paint it over it? I mean, there's things like that, which I think I got from that book, that are very amazing what turns out from them. I mean, one time I just put masking tape up, turned out it was trees in a forest. Once I peeled them off, it was like masking fluid. So just, it never ends, the possibilities. But when we keep going and going and pushing ourselves, sometimes we lose that openness to possibility. And to me, that's the spiritual aspect. I mean, just taking a walk outside and looking at a leaf and all the colors on each individual leaf, for me, is very exciting and inspiring. I might not come back in and paint a leaf, or I might, but I might just take those colors and do something with them of my own. So, and that's, when the leaves were falling recently, and I think I did this on a video. So this was, November, and the leaves were all turning orange, and there wasn't a lot of color outside, but there was still beauty in it. Okay, so I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna paint that, and it came out. I mean, I added a little more vivid color than my photograph, and I changed some things. That's that artistic license I talk about, where you have your choice to change things. But actually, when I did this, now every time I go out in the park here, and I walk by these trees and this pond out there, I see it differently since I painted it. Which I also wanted to mention that I've lost my little doggy. He was 20 and a half years old last December, and I miss him terribly. But I knew he was getting very, very old, and that he was living day by day was very special. But I did, during that time, I had painted a fun little sketch of him from a photo. And it was very therapeutic. So this also helps you in that sense, psychologically. Sometimes painting, like the flowers, they can be very comforting on a cold winter day. Or like I say, painting a lost loved one could be, a family member. It may not be a pet. And it can be very helpful and comforting. I know people who have done that, and it really does make a difference. And I'm going to do more of that down the road, I hope. Another thing I wanted to say, and I can show you that. I did my daughter when she was a little girl, a very loose sketch of her. And that was very fun, and it was just a chance to just kind of loosen up and see what I could do with, I didn't show that very long. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's all right, you know. I'd like to do a more realistic one of her someday. And then when I'm in a dark mood, you know, through the pandemic and then moving into this time where we have war going on across the world, very challenging. I did some very gray, black, moody paintings, which they have their own sublimeness. They have a beauty of their own, but they also helped me to get some of that feelings out, some of that, and I don't know, it was helpful. I think it's something worth trying, and sometimes it's just a good value study where you're just studying light values to dark. There's a little bit of sort of golds in there and some blues, but mostly it's gray and black, that one, and I rather enjoy it, even though it's just a real wet on wet where I let the paints flow, but I was exploring and letting my mood come through at the same time. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to kind of share with you today, is watercolors are such a way of expressing ourselves in all the many moods, and that when we get kind of what, you know, some people call artist block, where you feel like you just can't create now, or you don't know what to do, you're looking at the blank sheet of paper and it's like, what do I do now? There's so many avenues. Actually, you know, the ones I've mentioned, you know, as to the books and nature and, you know, things that you love, but also, you know, I've just realized that, you know, this is the way also that helps me, is going on YouTube. And you could do this too by looking up, I look up other artists and how they're doing their watercolors, and other mediums too, and find that I get inspirations from them as well. So, and hopefully that's what I'm doing for others as well. So it's really a joy for me to be a part of, and a connection to this whole creative world that's here, even though life can be difficult and struggles, and I know in some places people are really struggling. And so what I've been doing to give myself some peace and some break from that is to, you know, I've done some donations to help with people that are struggling in the war, and I'm doing a little more in my church to help with people in my community than I was, and those are very helpful. And then, like I say, to balance, get creative. Okay, this is a connection to our great Creator, and I'm sure that, you know, this is how we were meant to be balanced. Life gets hard. Life gets sometimes very grief-filled. I've been losing some friends, and my pet and my mother, and I know that those who love me would want me to continue to be happy and to be balanced and to enjoy my life, and that's what I wish for you as well. So I hope you like this video, and I hope it's helpful, and we're going to get back into the video I'm midway into, which is where we're going to put interference paints, which are very glistening and shimmery and iridescent, into a landscape that I have halfway done. So let's check into that. I'll let you know when that's finished. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon, and may your day be blessed.